Hey guys, welcome back to another Clone Wars Season 7 review. Wow, I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. It's Episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten. We did not get a moral this episode, but it's... I have to say right off the top, this is probably one of the most, if not the most, cinematic Clone Wars episode I have ever seen. It is incredible in every sense. I'm not even sure where to start. It's the episode where Ahsoka and Anakin reunite, even though it's just for a few minutes, and that's torture. I mean, all that's happened, and they're just, I'll see you later, and it's, and then the Siege of Coruscant starts. Like, darn it, these last few episodes are leading directly into Episode 3, and it's giving me the chills. My favorite character in this one is a toss-up between Anakin and Ahsoka. Anakin got so likable during the Clone Wars, and there's only a few spots where he's, the cold-hearted guy on the brink. It's heartbreaking. Anakin got so likable. I really like him in this one. And the other character that's really, really good, of course, the star of the show in this case, is Ahsoka. I mean, the girl kicks butt, and not just that, she's been able to see the Jedi from both sides. She sees how pandering to the Republic they've become, listening more to politics instead of their original mission, which is, of course, to look after the people. So, my favorite parts, there are many. In no particular order, the parts that had me geeking out the most and going the craziest were, first of all, right off the top, we get to see in the hologram what looks like a clip of a very young Caleb Dume, aka Kanan Jarrus, standing there right next to his master, Depa Billaba. That had me freaking out because I absolutely love the character of Kanan. Anakin's borderline ridiculous bravado in pretending to surrender when he's got all his clones sort of clinging to the underside of the bridge and just lying in wait, waiting for the tactical droid to come out, and then he slice and dice. Two major entrances are incredibly epic. The first one is Obi-Wan's entrance, where you see him sort of come out of the mist and sort of pans up his lightsaber to see him. That is great. And Maul's entrance, which is freaky. You see, first of all, Ahsoka's sort of surrounded, and she's sort of turning around and all tense and everything, and you hear the metal footsteps coming up the tunnel, and then out pops Maul into the light. Oh! I swear, Maul is the scariest Star Wars villain ever. He still terrifies me to this day. Another one, Ahsoka dropping truth bombs. I mean, she's telling it like it is. She's not afraid of anybody. She's not afraid of getting chewed out. She's seen things from both sides, and she gets blunt. She's not afraid to tell it like it is. Like, calling Obi-Wan out on playing politics, that's good on her. I'm glad to see her doing that. Anakin walking out alone, it sort of mirrors Luke in Episode 9 when he's just sort of, okay, everybody, stay here, I got this handled. And everybody walks out and they're like, open fire, and I thought for a minute, oh gosh, is he gonna, shield himself with the Force? And was like, nope, hold your fire. That came so close to mirroring what Luke did in Episode 8. Ursa Wren being mentioned, who of course is Sabine Wren's mom. That was awesome. Every single original trilogy every single original trilogy or saga reference, it was overwhelming. It was so purely Star Wars, from the old-fashioned Lucasfilm logo at the beginning to the original Star Wars main theme at the opening, and the Star Destroyer going overhead, you seeing it from underneath with a planet down there. That was so good. The name Fulcrum being used for the very first time for Ahsoka. Anakin giving Ahsoka her lightsabers back, which was just like, oh, he saved them for her. I just loved it. It was so The dynamic between Anakin and Ahsoka is almost like a father-daughter relationship, but not quite, and it just made me go, oh. The Ahsoka helmets, I mean, I'd seen that clip before, but not in context, and I have to say, it choked me up a little bit to see it in context. And finally, Ahsoka's landing on Mandalore. That was such a superhero maneuver. First of all, she rescues this guy and allows him to eject as she's going down. She rides this crashing ship, then jumps up, flips over, comes down in a superhero landing, rolls over, and then there's this big old explosion behind her. My favorite lines in this were mostly in the beginning. First one by Obi-Wan, when after he makes his entrance and he and Cody are taking cover on the suspension bridge, saying, "Well, I can see things are going splendidly on this front." His sarcasm is great. And the next line by Rex, after Anakin's contacted them and they're literally hanging out underneath the bridge, he turns to the guys after hearing from R2 and goes, "All right, hang in there a little longer." And everyone just goes, "Whoa." That's one of those bad Star Wars puns that ends up being totally priceless. But overall, this episode is amazing. I absolutely love it. I was constantly geeking out. Of course, the absolute worst thing about this episode is the fact that it's a cliffhanger. Maul makes his entrance and then boom, Iris out. And I'm like, we have to wait another week. I want to see what happens. It brings back the anticipation of, waiting for a new Star Wars episode, in this case, a TV episode. So finally getting to the scoring of Old Friends Not Forgotten. The story was very good. It gets a 9 out of 10. Almost everything in this episode was perfect. Animation, top notch. The angles, using a camera, it was so cinematic, I couldn't believe it. That's a 10 out of 10. Voice acting, of course, between James Arnold Taylor, Ashley Eckstein, Sam Witwer, of course, for the little bit he was Darth Maul, and of course the dog's barking, silly dog, and of course James Arnold Taylor doing Obi-Wan. All the voice acting, as always, is top notch. That's another 10 out of 10. Sound mix, I love the fact they included past nods to other Star Wars themes in there. It made it feel so much like Star Wars. I mean, like the saga Star Wars. I love to see them tie it in to the actual saga. It's getting close and I'm getting the chills. So that's another 10 out of 10. Characters, so good. Almost perfect. I'm sorry, but the dumbness of the battle droid sort of killed it. So the characters get a 9.5 out of 10. The stupidity of the battle droids was what kept the characters from being perfect. Other than that, they were just bang, perfect. And that gives Clone Wars Season 7, Old Friends Not Forgotten, an average score of 9.7 out of 10. It was that close to being absolutely perfect. So close. So anyway, guys, that has been another Clumsy Jedi review of Clone Wars Season 7. Thank you so much for watching. I literally can't wait until next week to find out and to see how both Ahsoka and Darth Maul escape from their confrontation together. Because at first glance, you'd think, okay, Ahsoka doesn't have a prayer against this guy who has taken down so many different characters. And on the other hand, we know that both Darth Maul and Ahsoka survive to show up in Rebels later, so neither of them can die. That makes me wonder, does one or both of them get injured in a way where they can't go on? Does something happen to make Maul suddenly bail and go into hiding? I haven't the foggiest, and I literally cannot wait to find out what happens. So, I will see everybody again on Monday. If you like, please go ahead and I will have it put up as soon as I possibly can. Click the link down below to check out my reaction to this episode on my other channel, Clumsy Jedi Reacts. It's going to take a while for all the clips to be, edited and uploaded, so please be patient with me. I'm still trying to work this out with having 3 channels. It's definitely a juggling act. So, yeah, like I said, I'll see everybody again on Monday. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And until then, God bless, and may the Force be with you. You don't want to spread negativity. You want to subscribe and click notifications.